What's up, everybody? Back today to talk about Krampus, the newest holiday horror film from Michael Dougherty. Same guy that brought us Trick or Treat a few years back, and he's also helped write a couple of comic book films. So I wanted to see what he did with Krampus, which is a Christmas, of course, themed horror movie. And I do like my Christmas themed horror movies probably better than any other type of holiday horror films. So the film starts off and it basically sets up the setting of this town that everybody's, fighting on Black Friday or whatever, the holiday sales, and this family's kind of dysfunctional, and the kid, starting not to believe in Christmas, and he winds up kind of disregarding his Christmas because his family's annoying him, and Krampus comes to teach them basically the Christmas spirit. He's kind of like the anti-Santa Claus. That's what I would say. He's not quite like this horrible evil monster. He just destroys everything. He's a little more playful with his kills and stuff like that. Even though the kills aren't that great in this movie and it's PG-13, I still think it was very effective for what it did, because it walks that line between being humorous and a holiday film and still being horror at the same time. And you don't really want to watch a horror film on Christmas that's too bloody, especially if you want to watch it with your kids or younger children and stuff like that. So I thought it walked like a really nice line, and it is probably one of the better horror movies that's come out in the theater this year even. So yeah, let's get into the good and bad parts about it. First of all, it's a fun film, like I said. Great for the holidays, really Christmassy. I mean, it has Christmas music. The house has all kinds of Christmas decorations. Of course, Krampus is like a legend of Christmas in, I think, the Nordic countries. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he's like an old world myth or whatever. So I'm not up on my mythology of Krampus, but I did like the way they portrayed the characters. And like I said, it gets the job done without really having to be rated R. I can't imagine them having to use any more death scenes, make any more blood or anything like that. Believe me, plenty of people get it in this film. There's a lot of victims, but we really don't see anything, and it's more the idea of Krampus stalking them that is the scary thing. It's this cool winter setting. The whole city gets snowed in, and it focuses on this one family in their house, and they do leave the house at one point. You get to see that he's pretty much destroyed a lot of the other town, and you see him right away, which I thought was cool. It wasn't like they were hiding him till the very end. I mean, you get a good look at him at the end, and then he also has these minions that work for him. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, I thought the film actually took some risks too for a mainstream Hollywood horror film, which I kind of liked. It has a lot of holiday cliches, but it's a Christmas movie. It's got to have some cliches, I think. But the risks, I really like. There's a part where they kind of get out of everything and then go in this animated sequence to explain some of the history of Krampus. And I liked that. I thought it was daring, and at the same time, the animation looked kind of like those old Christmas, stop motion things we used to watch as kids. So I liked that. I mean, I thought it was playful at the same time as it was dark, so I thought it walked that line nicely, definitely. Krampus, he's not just by himself, he has these minions, and some of the minions were freaking cool, even though they were CGI. I like the CGI minions the best, probably, and that leads me kind of to the bad things, because I think some people, that's where they're going to get out of the movie, is when it comes to the minions, the people that are actually doing the killing for Krampus. He's like the overseer, and then he's got all these little helpers, just like Santa, that kill things, and I don't want to spoil what they are or who they are for you, but some of them look pretty cool, and some of them have this really like old world look, which I appreciated, thinking, where Krampus, the legend, comes from. I thought the way they looked pretty cool. A lot of them look scary, but at the same time, they're a little bit goofy, and that could be a bad thing for some people. And of course, a couple of them are CGI, even though it's really cool, that part. I think the CGI is going to piss a lot of, horror fans off. I like the CGI with the characters. There's another part later at the very end of the film where they used some CGI that looked absolutely horrible. It kind of lends itself to the whole surreal quality of the film, because it's not like a realistic film. It's more like the surreal, happy Christmas or not so happy Christmas life, and then you got these crazy characters, and then you got Krampus on top of all of it. Kind of that tone of Gremlins. I would say slightly darker than Gremlins, maybe. I haven't seen Gremlins in a while, so whatever. Yeah, the CGI I could see being a little bit of a problem for some of the people, but it had, like I said, an animated sequence in it, so, it kind of mixed in with the movie okay. And the biggest thing that kept bugging me was right from when the first disappearance of one of the kids happens, I was like, the parents just didn't seem to care enough about their kids getting taken, missing. They just seemed way too casual about it, and they were like, oh, we'll get it or whatever. So that really bugged me. That was probably the biggest problem I had with the film. So overall, I thought Krampus was a great Christmas holiday horror film. Something you can watch with your older kids. I wouldn't say the young ones, because they'll get scared for sure. There are some kind of scary-ish parts in it. Not very scary overall. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because It kind of got me in the Christmas spirit. There's lots of Christmas stuff going on in the film, and I love the snowy setting, all that type of thing. The very end was pretty freaking awesome as well. I love the way they ended it. They didn't chicken out at the end. So yeah, definitely check out Krampus, and I'll see you soon with another horror movie review.